It is the 17th day of April 2023. A very good evening to you and welcome to Hope TV Newswatch. My name is Ken Kimani and Boniface Murithi is our sign language interpreter. Tonight, we begin our broadcast on a high note. Defending champion Evans Chebet is the winner of the 2023 Men's Boston Marathon, making him the first man to defend his title at the Boston Marathon since Robert Cheruiyot in 2008. Chebet's winning time of 2 hours, 5 minutes and 54 seconds is the third fastest winning time in race history. Tanzanian Gabriel Gee finished in the second place, with another Kenyan Benson Kipruto finishing third. It was, however, a tough race for arguably the greatest marathon of all time, Eliud Kipchoge, who finished sixth. In the women's marathon, Helen Obiri put on a powerful display to win the marathon on a first attempt, clocking 2 hours, 21 minutes and 38 seconds. Amane Beriso of Ethiopia finished second, with Lorna Salpit of Israel finishing third.
The upset winner and champion of the 127th Boston Marathon.
Amazing.
It is the left on Boylston, and then they go, you just run straight into history from there. Helen Obiri going to win the 127th Boston Marathon, and I think her daughter Tanya is down here to greet her. Mama won.
Wow.
What a win for Kenyans. Congratulations to the winners. Moving on and to some politics now. ODM party now claims that Venezuelan national Jose Camargo is in the country to tamper with the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission servers. The party leader Raila Odinga has alleged that Camargo has held a meeting with former IBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati and Communications Authority of Kenya, Director General Ezra Chiloba, as well as 3 other Venezuelan nationals. Odinga has previously raised concerns over external influence on the IBC servers by Venezuelans during the August 2022 polls, claiming that they played a part in the interference of the elections and consequently robbing Azimio la Umoja of their victory. In the 2022 presidential results petition, opposition leader Raila Odinga, through his legal team, told the Supreme Court that Camargo, Joel Gustavo and Salvador Suarez interfered with the presidential results. Moving on, flights in and out of Nairobi were suspended for the better part of Monday at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, following an aborted takeoff by a Singapore Airlines cargo, which was heading to Amsterdam. In a statement, the Kenya Airports Authority affirmed that the cargo plane developed technical issues on Monday morning, affecting all operations. As a result, all incoming and outgoing flights were temporarily suspended, with passengers advised to contact their respective airlines for further information on the status of their flights. JKIA, however, resumed normal operations after the stalled plane was removed after a 7-hour closure of the runway. Away from that, and Chief Justice Martha Koome has launched the Young Advocates Mentorship Program in collaboration with the Law Society of Kenya and the Senior Counsel Bar. Speaking during the launch on Monday, CJ Martha Koome said that the program is an initiative through which the judiciary seeks to deepen partnership with the bar in addressing a critical need in the country.
Guarded in their speech, perhaps the one who is less vocal on Twitter, because there's this idea of confidentiality. Our association with the universities, and that's the second component which the Chief Justice is at the heart of the Chief Justice, so that as the law students at university, we are able to undertake mentorship with them, and we are able to lead them to the straight and narrow towards bringing up the legal profession, which all of us are proud of.
It is the same with the work of a lawyer. If a client has given you instructions, it doesn't matter how small those instructions are. It could be just to prepare an affidavit, but make sure that you're deliberate to see to it that you get the proper heading, you get the proper arrangement of that affidavit, you even look at a sample before you write it, and write it clearly and even read it over and over. That affidavit, if you have done it properly, I can assure you that client will come again or send another one, and that will give birth to another matter. maybe another small claims brief. You never know. That's how we start.
Religious leaders in the country have continued to call for peaceful coexistence between Kenyans, even as the Azimio la Umoja coalition continue to push for the return of the weekly protests after the Islamic month of Ramadan. Our very own Whitney Akinyi with more on the story.
Fellow at Cambridge University. Sheikh is also qualified civil and commercial mediator and is the chair of the Islamic Cultural and Religious Affairs, ICRA. He is a resident minister of religion, that is Imam, in KS Khoja Shia International of Birmingham. He is the head of Islamic Culture and Religious Affairs at the Council of European Jamaat. He was voted the most impactful Imam in the UK in the year 2021. He is the West Midlands co-chair and national trustee at Citizens UK. He is a member of the West Midlands Combined.
Organizations have been advised to nurture talent among students in schools. This is in a bid to enable them use their talents to earn a living instead of relying on the regular 8 to 5 white-collar jobs, which are currently scarce. Speaking after a school talent show, Shadrach Wanjala, the principal of Toroso High School in Chesikaki Ward, Mount Elgon, noted that the annual event will help the students develop their talents at a young age.
Hao watoto wetu wenye tuko nao wana talents tofauti na saa zingine uweze pata inaitwa forum ya kila mmoja ajitokeze ili atoe hiyo talent yake. Sasa tuliwapa hii nafasi ili wale wenye wana vipawa tofauti wanaweza kujitokeza. Kuna wale tumeanza na wale waimbaji, wengine wa poems, wengine wa imitation of sounds na kadhalika. Kwa kufanya hivyo, it also becomes a source of entertainment. Lakini la muhimu ni kwamba certain social values and life skills are communicated kwa hao wanafunzi wenyewe and even to the wider society.
It is very, very good to come up with your talent and show your talent. It is not only to show, but you just enjoy it.
Nashukuru kwa sababu wanafunzi wengi sio wenye kutegemea vitabu, bali wengi wako na talanta.
Kuna baadhi ya wale ambao hawako wanajua kama wanaweza kuparticipate, lakini tunafurahi kwa kuwa ameweza kutuongoza.
And also we want to replicate these talent centers. We are going to, as you've seen, we have a grand plan for every talent center, talent academy, and we want to do a one-stop shop where all the creatives can be able to come and do their thing. We are also going to do a lot in sports, and as you can see, we are now currently in the process of having Embu Moi Stadium that is under renovation. I really want to thank the President for the support he has given Embu County. We are getting our old stadium renovated for the 1st of June, but beyond the 1st of June, that stadium is yours. There are lots of rooms behind those benches. We are going to turn them around so that you can go and do your thing inside those rooms for free. We're not asking for anything.
Well, with that, it's time for a quick breather here on Hope TV Newswatch. But after the break, our features reporter Faith Imani Mungo will be bringing to us a special feature on tuberculosis prevalence. Stay with us.
Every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Spotlight.
Do you feel that they are in a place where they can effect a Barack Obama moment?
When you hear the word of God and you hear Jesus is speaking.
Real talk on real issues.
You know the Bible says faith without works is dead.
The truth of the gospel that will survive the time is not a health and wealth gospel.
When there is time to harmonize and bring one composite amendment.
With idealistic, thought-provoking guests.
So people come to be serviced, to be encouraged, to be empowered.
When the storm is over, you desire the closeness you have with God.
Hosted by Reverend Edward Furi.
Welcome back. Now, Kenya is among 30 countries with the highest burden of tuberculosis globally, with an annual TB load of 133,000 cases, according to recent estimates in 2021. However, the statistics show that only 54% of these caseloads were treated, and about 50,000 tuberculosis cases were not diagnosed. And as our features reporter Faith Imani Mogo tells us, among these numbers, 25,000 to 35,000 are open TB cases, meaning the individuals have TB and are infections and they don't even know about it.
The 2022 World Health Organization Tuberculosis or TB report revealed that global spending on essential TB services decreased from 788 billion Kenya shillings in 2019 to 700 billion Kenya shillings in 2021. The sad statistics, however, show that the disease claimed 1.6 million lives in 2021 alone globally, and over 10 million people acquired TB, yet it remains woefully neglected and underfunded in many countries. Even though tuberculosis is a global epidemic, over 95% of the TB deaths occur in lower income countries.
So the latest statistics for TB, we say that in every 100,000 people who are treated of anything, actually 426 of them had TB. So that equates to, in 2019, we treated 86,000 cases. So you can imagine that was 2019. By now, the actually cases are higher, because even at the clinic, we actually see more cases every year, from one year out. But we contribute that largely to the awareness that is usually created. Yeah.
While commemorating the World TB Day this year at the Huruma grounds in Eldoret, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi highlighted the important role played by the community health volunteers in the provision of health services, saying the government is committed to reducing the cases of tuberculosis in Kenya.
The burden for TB and HIV and drug-resistant TB remains high. We have made progress towards reducing the tuberculosis burden in Kenya through robust multi-sectoral partnerships, increased domestic resource allocation for TB programming, rapid adaptation of innovations, and global WHO guidelines recommendations.
The Ministry of Health Cabinet Secretary Dr. Susan Nakumicha emphasized on the importance of accessing quality health services for the communities to achieve universal health coverage and improve health outcomes.
Anajaribu kushukisha afya chini, lakini kuna wale ambao wanataka kuinua bei ya afya Kenya. Na mimi nitafanya kazi na Rais, ninafanya kazi na Prime Cabinet Secretary kuhakikisha ya kwamba afya tunaiweka chini kabisa ili kila mtu akaweze kupata afya.
My TB story came to me like a nightmare, because I didn't really expect, or rather even predict, though no one ever predicts such a thing to themselves. So I developed flu-like symptoms. I just had a sore throat. And I treated myself for flu with the medications meant for flu. However, it was not clearing. After some time, I realized that I had started developing some chest pain, which was suggesting pneumonia. I treated myself for pneumonia with antibiotics meant for that. It didn't work. I decided not to treat myself and see a doctor. Be a patient and not be a medic. So by then I was in Bomet. So I saw a doctor who also thought I had pneumonia and gave me a dose of antibiotic for the same. I went home. Before I was done with the medication, I realized that it was even getting worse, because now I started developing other symptoms like difficulty in breathing, easy fatigability. Just doing something small, I could feel so tired, and I could, breathlessness. I decided no, I need to do a chest x-ray just to check how my lungs are doing.
Esther Thuo, a TB survivor, narrates the sad reality of misdiagnosis among other challenges facing tuberculosis patients.
I didn't tell this doctor who I was. I just came in as any other patient. So I went in, did a chest x-ray. Of course, they also did some other investigation, just checking the blood and all that. So when the chest x-ray came back, the way they check it on the, there's a screen where you check the x-ray. I saw it and I was like, okay, does this indicate that this is really what I have? But I could not buy the story. By that time, I had a daughter who was 3 years old. I was interacting with this little young girl. We were feeding together, we were sharing meals and everything. And even sometimes I could sleep with her. So I couldn't imagine me having tuberculosis. You see, the entire part here, you can see it's white. It's supposed to be dark, like this other side. That means all this part of my lung had been affected. So when the doctor looked at this x-ray, he was shocked, and you could see, his facial expression. And I didn't say anything. I just, pneumonia can also give you such an impression. So I was still holding into the, maybe it could be pneumonia, Let me not buy the TB story.
According to medics, whenever the telling signs of TB present themselves, it is advisable to go to a health facility that is capable of taking the necessary tests to ascertain whether one has TB or not.
Most people actually don't know because they don't go to the big hospitals. So you find that some of the ways of actually diagnosing TB is through a blood test, through a sputum test. It can also be diagnosed through a skin test, okay, and images. So let's say, for example, maybe you have a cough that is not going away. You've been on antibiotic for a long time. So it's a high time maybe you can go to a referral hospital or a hospital that is maybe a level 3, 4, 5 hospital, whereby maybe you can be taken for a sputum, maybe to just screen you of TB.
Dua says it took the hand of God and the will to fully recover because she was initially treating a different disease.
I thank God that I went through it. I think it took time, but somehow it messed up with my I'll say my mental health at that point. And it took a while. It took a while because, just trying to understand all that. And now I can put myself in a shoe of anyone. For me, I was a medic and I could go through that. What about someone who does not understand this, Yeah, so for me, the journey was not easy for sure. It was not. After that, I stayed like 2 years without going back to work. And even going back to work was still hard for me thinking of, of that. Anyways, yes. Anyways, I thank God nobody got TB in my family. Everyone was okay. So, yeah, I finished the medication, right? We did the, retesting and everything was okay. So I didn't go beyond 6 months. My treatment for 6 months worked very well for me. And I'm okay. Here I am today and I thank God. Down the line, God blessed us with another kid and coming soon,
Kenyans who are put on medications are advised to adhere to the prescribed medication to the latter.
Yes, TB is a scare. However, TB is treatable. Nobody should, there is still stigmatization with TB. But the truth of the matter is, TB is a treatable disease. No one should die of TB. Seek treatment. There's treatment out here and it's free. By the way, TB treatment is free. Yeah. But the most important thing, you have to be there to the medication. Practice, but I've taken a break shortly.
Medics say with proper treatment, tuberculosis is treatable and one can overcome.
TB symptoms can be confused. You can easily confuse them, but they're very specific. One is coughing more than 2 weeks, and you can have sputum that is blood stained. That is one. 2 is losing weight. When you realize you're losing weight and you really don't know the cause, it's something that should get you concerned.
Faith Imani Mugo for Hope TV Newswatch.
Hope TV is now available on GoTV Channel 103, Zuku Channel 873, Signet Channel 817 and Star Times Channel 026. Enjoy our uplifting content and family-friendly programming anytime. Hope TV, you look and live.
Welcome back. Now let's get down to business. NCBA Bank has opened 2 bank branches in Kenol and Murang'a, bringing its branch network to 88 as it seeks to grow its business by reaching out to new customers in the counties. The bank, which has been on a branch expansion exercise since 2021, plans to open an additional 10 branches in 2023.
We are here in Keno, opening our first branch in Keno, and I should say our first branch in Murang'a. This is culminating in a week where we have spent quite a bit of time in this mountain region. Yesterday we were in Nyeri for a customer event, recognizing that 2 years ago we opened our branches in Karatina and Nyeri. So this was a celebration moment to say thank you to the customers that have joined NCBA. We had over 250 customers join us in Nyeri. We also spent time yesterday in Kieni, part of our Change the Story program, through which we have planted 7 million trees. Yesterday we donated 5,000 seedlings towards the Kieni tree planting effort, and we'll continue to partner with people in Kieni in this tree planting effort. As I say, today we are in Keno. We are opening a branch in Keno. We'll be leaving here to go to Murang'a to open a branch in Murang'a. This is part of our branch expansion effort. As I've said before, our aim is to grow our branch network, hopefully to about 150 at some point. By the end of this year, we are targeting to be at about 100 branches. So this is continuing that progress. We are going to where our customers are, where customers tell us that we should be closer to them.
Moving on, and more than 200 boda riders from Wetedi Ward and Juja constituency have been taken through a crash course on financial management, customer service and business management to equip them with the skills to grow their businesses. The training, which took place at Zetech University Technology Park in Mangu, was facilitated by the School of Business and Economics, officials from the Kenya Revenue Authority and the Juja Traffic Police. According to data from the Motorcycle Assembly Association of Kenya, boda business in the country generates about 400 million shillings daily, which translates to 3.4% of Kenya's GDP.
Kwa training ya leo imekuwa mzuri sana. Zile vitu tumesomeshwa imeona ni kazi zinaturifaa sana. Story ya savings, financial literacy na customer service. Wenye utakuwa ukiingia na customer wako wenye unabeba na kusave, kutumia ile pesa unapata vizuri na vile inafaa.
They are a major part of what we do. They are a major part of the economy, actually. They are just like other transport providers, like the matatus and the buses. Bodas come in very handy. And we have also discovered that they provide other services that you may not think about. They almost compete with Google Maps because they will give you direction on where you are going. And they also help to keep the peace in the community because they seem to know everybody. So it is very important that at any single time, all communities engage with the boda operators and riders.
And to some sports in action now, and Adrian Mwangi of VetLab Golf Club was crowned the overall winner of the opening leg of the KCB East Africa Golf Tour held at the large par 72 VetLab Golf Course in Nairobi. The handicap 33 golfer carried an excellent score of 39 Stableford points to beat his closest challenger Emmanuel Nyakaberia, playing off handicap 27, who carried 36 points. The tournament will head to Eldoret Golf Club for its second leg before landing at Limuru for the third leg in 2 weeks' time. Still matters golf, and the second leg of the NCBA Golf Series came to a thrilling conclusion over the weekend with over 200 golfers competing in a tightly contested tournament at the Limuru Country Club. Peter Mushangi was crowned as the overall gross winner of the NCBA Golf Series Limuru leg with an impressive 73 gross points. The next leg of the NCBA Golf Series will be held at the Windsor Golf Hotel and Country Club on the 22nd of this month.
I'm so happy, even I don't know how to hold this mic. Maybe it should be this way. So, what I would like to say is that I'm so happy. It being NCBA Bank being the sponsor, and you people, you are doing so well to juniors, and here I am, a coach of juniors winning. So, what a coincidence. Actually, this morning I had lessons with juniors, and I usually have afternoon lessons on Saturdays. But unfortunately today I told juniors, please, let me go deal with these cross purposes.
Moving on swiftly, and KCB registered an important 2-0 win over the 17th place to Azito FC at the Kasarani International Stadium. Kennedy Owino continued with his excellent goal-scoring form, putting his team ahead inside 20 minutes after a clinical job done by fullback Kevin Okumu on the right-hand side of the pitch. To set up the KCB's current top scorer, Henry Ochieng, who missed the Vihiga Bullets clash, rewarded his manager's trust in him with a goal just before the interval to extend the Bankers' lead to 2-0.
I'm very happy. The match wasn't easy. They were sitting back, but we were capable of winning against them. Unajua lazima tuweze kuguide kitu tumepata. So imebidi tumeongea half time, ikabidi tumedefend poa. Juu pia clean sheet ina matter kwa ligi sasa mali imefika.
Coming from a 3-0 win last match, now getting another win against a good side, Wazito FC. It's a good motivation, and it uplifts all players' confidence. It is important because we as a KCB, we are also ambitious, and we are aiming to clinch the title. So we keep on pushing as much as we can